Beware of Google's bearing gifts these days. Google is getting more publicity than it probably wants. Last week, 3 women launched a class action lawsuit against the tech giant, alleging that it systemically paid men more. Now, Google and its Silicon Valley brethren are making headlines for opposing Congress's efforts to halt online child sex trafficking. For a company whose motto is "Don't be evil," these stories must be inducing. Their own share of agita at Google's Mountain View, California, headquarters. Truth be told, bad coverage for Google is more the exception than the rule. But it didn't just happen that way. No, not at all. Rather, the company has aggressively sought to divert the media's peering gaze from its episodic woes, sprinkling strategically placed dollars into the coffers of its would-be critics, even as Google vacuums millions and millions in advertising revenue away from legacy news outlets. In the grand scheme of things, it's a small price for Google to pay, especially when someone else is generating the content. Although the story isn't new, it has remained the same for more than a decade. Back then, in 2006, Belgian publishers sued Google for alleged copyright infringement in connection with Google's search engine and Google News. The plaintiffs had claimed that Google illegally reproduced French-language content by linking to cached copies and displaying snippets of content. Said differently, the publishers did the heavy lifting. Rather than proceeding to a verdict, Google and plaintiffs settled in 2012, with Google partnering with the publishers in a series of collaborative efforts such as Google's AdSense platform, integrating Google services into the publisher's content, and assisting with distribution on mobile devices. To tech industry observers, it was a good deal for Google. Significantly, the lawsuit and settlement were not one-offs. Rather, they appeared to be part of Google's playbook as the story repeated itself in France. As was the case in Belgium, French publishers had demanded that Google pay them licensing fees for posting headlines and bits of content when Google would post search results.